Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are in the garage, and as you guys can also see, the Corvette is already on the lift. If you guys remember our video from the previous week, we got the exhaust pretty much wrapped up. We have no more leaks on the header, we have no more leaks on the V-band, and the car is driving great. The one thing I did notice was that our oil temps were up to 219 degrees, and that seems pretty normal for an LS. You know, I looked in like road racing, I looked into drag racing, looked into various parts of the forums and what you can find on the internet for LS3 oil temperatures. And yeah, I mean, that seems like an okay temperature, but I think I have a way to resolve it. Guys, what I didn't realize was when we went for that test drive, I had none of the underbody cladding, the ducting, the front lower bumper part, or the middle bumper part. I didn't have any of that installed, so I'm like, huh. So there might have been air going through that cooler, but it wasn't being directed to go into the cooler. And even the operating temperatures for the radiator were not super high, but they were a little warmer than normal. So, but like I did say in that video, it was like 98 degrees and like, I think 110 with the heat index. Well, today is gonna be just as hot, so I got out here a little bit earlier today. So what we're gonna do today is install all of our cladding, the cooler, the ducting, and all that, so that we just make sure that we have everything good to go when we want to do another test. The other thing that I'm going to do is actually clean off that front oil cooler. I see a little bit of oil residue on it. Not like it's like super leaking, but it might be misting. So I want to clean that off, go for another test drive with all the cladding on. And if it's dirty when we get back, then I'm going to know that we have to tear this back apart, take that cooler off, and go get that sent out to get it replaced. But again, that's only if we have to go that route. I'm kind of thinking we will be, but I do want to get all this ducting installed first. Do want to get that oil cooler cleaned, then we'll see if we have a problem when we get back. So, all right, as you can see, we have the front inner fender liner back in, we've got the ducting in, and we also have everything underneath put back on. And so yeah, we should be good to go ahead and do a test drive. Now, I'll be honest guys, I did not secure everything the way it was previously. I kind of used some new push pins. I got this huge pack of these automotive plastic fasteners from Harbor Freight. This ended up being $11 on sale. I think they're normally almost 20, so I was like, I saw that was on sale. We were driving past a Harbor Freight last night, so we went and stopped and picked this up. So yeah, I have the front everything mounted. Let's go ahead, get the wheel back on the car, and go for another test drive. Alright guys, if you can read that, the oil temp is at 216. I have not been nice to the car. I've been doing a bunch of 60 to zeros. I probably did 10 just about in less than a few miles. So, you know, we have not been nice to the car, like I said. I've been seeing the oil go from like 216 to 218. We haven't hit 219, and it's actually dropped back down. It just dropped back down 2 degrees. So, you know, maybe that ducting is helping by keep it out of the 219 range. I haven't hit that yet. And like I said, I've been accelerating very hard to 60, and we haven't been nice to the car, like I said. And yeah, so we are 2 degrees cooler than we were. But yeah, so I think we're good on the oil. I am gonna go back home and check to see if we're leaking any oil. We shouldn't be, but if we are, we will actually know if that cooler is leaking up front or not. So let's head back home, check it, and we'll see what it's doing. All right, guys, I have checked the oil cooler both front and back. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see through it. No, we can't. But I have checked the front and back, the bottom. Underneath, I cleaned all these panels before we went on a test drive, and I'm not seeing any oil coming out of that. So that's a good sign. I will say we were beating on it, but we weren't taking the car to like 7,000 RPM. You know, I was probably keeping it to 5, maybe 6. At least going from 0 to 60, we haven't had any problems. But you know, like I said, if you're on the dyno, that's the last time we saw this leak was on the dyno. So I don't know, maybe just there was a loose fitting, but I've gotten this car up in temperature, and kind of like I said, I'm not seeing any problems here. And now that we put the front fender liners and everything back on, you know, I'm still not seeing an issue. And you know, showing you the front of the oil cooler, again, I'm still not seeing anything. Alright guys, I just double checked everything, and as far as I could tell, everything looks good. I don't see any major issues And one more thing to note of today's test versus the previous test that we did in that exhaust video is that we were running like 3 to 5 degrees cooler. Now, I don't know if that's due to the fact that I have all the ducting in the place, or the fact that I ran the Corvette on the lift for a good while before we went on that previous test drive in the other video. So today, I pretty much just backed it out straight, went on that test drive, and we were doing those 60 to zeros, and you know, that got it up to temperature real quick. And like I said, it stated that 215, 216 range, and the other day we were seeing, you know, like 219, 220, 221, you know, averaging around there. And when we were driving through the neighborhood, the temperature did come back down even a little bit more. So I would say the ducting is definitely helping. As far as the engine coolant, I don't think we had an issue there, and I'll be honest, I didn't see much of a difference. Maybe it was running a little bit cooler, but yeah, so I'm just trying to, you know, do apples to apples comparison with all these, you know, double checking all these changes that we're making just to see if this stuff's gonna work. So I will say this, I did find a rebuild kit for the billet block from Improved Racing. I'll have a screenshot of that here. And what that kit includes is basically a new thermostat, O-rings, new hardware, and a new screen. So I think we're gonna go ahead and order that just due to the fact that it's not gonna be that hard to change. It's right on the side of the engine, and it's kind of above the oil filter. So I think we should be able to have some easy access to that. I'll get that on the way, and we'll pick this video up when that arrives. All right, guys, our package from Improved Racing has shown up. I ordered this Saturday. It is Wednesday. So it took 3 days to get from Florida to North Carolina. So not great, not bad, just about average on that. So here's what we got. We got the Improved Racing T4 rebuild kit. So you guys can see we'll have a spring, we'll have a new thermostat, some new hardware, a new O-ring. And then if you guys can see here, we did get a new cover that says 180 degrees. So I think this was roughly 20 bucks and maybe, I don't know, $8 shipping, something like that. So I think it was about 30 bucks for everything, something like that. And yeah, this should be pretty simple install. We just got to take the cover off. I am expecting oil to come out of the motor, so I do have some more Valvoline somewhere, and we'll just try to do our best guess with how much oil pours out and how much we're going to put back in with this. So, all right, so the first thing I've noticed, I opened up the hardware, I just wanted to find out what kind of bit this was. This is going to be a T20 Torx. I'm not sure if that's going to come up. There you go, T20 Torx. I fit the hardware in here, put the little bolt on, and yeah, that looks like it's going to be a T20 Torx and fit without issue. So, all right, guys, I didn't realize that hardware piece was at the very back of the oil cooler, so that kind of sucks. So I'm gonna have to pop this off the oil pan. I already found it. It's an H5 bolt, so metric H5, and I'm gonna take that off, take this end off, then we'll be able to swap that kit. And I might put some RTV on this gasket because this whole area has been misting a little bit, and I saw some other people say that they had to use some RTV on both sides of the gasket to make sure this thing seals up. All right, guys, you can see we got the oil cooler block off. I also have taken the plate off, and that's really just held on with those 4 little T20 screws. Guys, this was not torqued down at all, so I wouldn't be shocked if it was leaking out of the back of here. When I'm saying not torqued down, I literally just put the socket on there and twisted it ever so slightly, and it came right out. So in my opinion, there should be at least a little bit of torque to tighten that stuff down. So that could be where we were getting this misting from. It may not have been the gasket above the oil filter. It may have been this back piece. So I think I'm still gonna put RTV on that gasket. And the other thing I want to show you is this little billet drum that was in here. This basically slides in here like that, and then the thermostat basically pushes up against it. So we're going to clean this up, put the new thermostat in here, and then put the end plate back on. And like I said, we're going to place this O-ring and make sure everything's tightened down. But basically, I took that spring, the aluminum cup, the new thermostat, and the O-ring, compressed that all, and then I got one of these corners started. Then I basically just did a crisscross pattern, got all 4 tightened, and these are way tighter than the other one was, this old cover. And you guys can see this new cover is textured, and if you look, it's the same smooth anodized finish that the rest of the cover is. So that is a little bit of a difference. There is some texture to the new cover versus the, you know, the old billet block. And when you guys put it back together, it goes the spring, the billet cup, the thermostat, the O-ring, and then this end cover. Alright guys, if you can see, we got the improved racing billet block put back in place. The new covers back here, you guys really won't be able to see that. That is up against the flywheel. That's all put back in place, and kind of like I said, I did put a little bit of RTV on that gasket going between the oil pan and the cooler block itself, because like I said, it was seeping just a bit, and I've cleaned most of it off, but there was a mist of oil kind of on these oil lines, so I just wanted to put the only other seal that we might have had an issue with, put a little bit of RTV on it. Alright guys, I've been doing the same, like trying to get the 16 to 0 stops. I've probably done 5 or 6. I unfortunately have traffic behind me now, and we got the temps up to 203. We're doing the basically same thing that we did in the previous part of the video, just got up to 205. But yeah, you know guys, we're running way cooler than we were without the ducting and rebuilding that oil cooler thermostat. So guys, I think we're good. So yeah, we're at 205. If this climbs any higher, we'll let you know. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for the oiling system update on the Corvette for this video. As you guys saw, you know, the temperatures did drop a little bit with adding the ducting back in place, and also went down a little bit more by just kind of rebuilding that thermostat on the improved racing cooler. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. If you guys noticed the Corvette is back on a lift, that is because I've discovered yet another problem with the oiling system. Not major, but not minor, just something we need to pay attention to and something we need to resolve. So if you guys want to see that video update, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below. I will try to include part numbers for everything that we've used in the video. I doubt I'll be able to find the thermostat rebuild kit. I had to buy that directly from Improved Racing, but I will be able to give you a link to the billet block from Improved Racing. So check out all those links down below. Also, make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Any support you can give there goes right back into the channel, these projects, the Corvette, the shop, and the truck, and all that. So that's be it, guys. Thanks. Have a great one.